BTS The Return documentary. I'm here to talk about the major highlights of this documentary, guys. I do recommend watching all of it, but these are the ones that I want to speak about because I've seen a lot of discourse online, a lot of lies, a lot of manufacturing, a lot of making up stuff based on simple second-long clips. And I'm gonna say it, this is their best documentary yet. It's unlike anything we've seen from them when it comes to docuseries or documentaries. There are no formal interviews. It's quiet, it's observational. It's messy chaos in a very human way. Now imagine instead of leaning into that and understanding that that's normal, you start panicking. That's exactly what I've been seeing online when it comes to BTS's new documentary. And ironically, the reason people are uncomfortable with it is the exact reason it works. This isn't the BTS we've been presented with in the past. This is BTS just existing. No filter, no safety net, no polished, here's what this moment means interviews. It's a fly on the wall documentary, which means you're not supposed to react to 5-10 second clips online. You're supposed to observe, sit with it, and understand context. And a lot of people are not doing that. So let's break down the biggest talking points and what's actually happening. By the way, guys, I reacted to the documentary over on my Patreon. So if you want to watch along with me, go over there. I truly appreciate it if you are able to support. First, Jin. People are saying he was treated unfairly. He didn't get any writing credits, which is correct. He doesn't have any on this new album, ARIRANG. He joined late and was left out. And I need you to really think about the way this documentary is structured, because the film literally opens with Jin arriving at the house in LA after the other members have already been working. Literally picking up from the moment Jin arrives. Oh.
Welcome back, Jin.
That's not accidental. This is the documentary telling you from the very beginning. Yes, he's coming in later. This is part of the story. It's a huge statement that the documentary begins with him arriving. That literally says, hey, BTS is 7. We're not going to show you a major part of the documentary without him and then just throw him in the middle like, oh, he's here. No, this is the documentary telling you it's important to show the viewer the members all together, and to begin with that. Jin actually does talk about joining the guys later on in the album process. And what does he say? It's a time crunch.
명곡이 많아. 내가 애들보다 늦게 도착했으니까 나는 뭘 해야 되며 이제 이런 생각을 모르니까 좀 겁이 나긴 했는데 그래도 12년 붙어 있었다고 말 안 해도 뭘 해야 되는지 알겠더라고. 눈빛만 봐도 알 수 있어.
He says he felt unsure for a moment. But in the same breath, he says that after looking at the members, people he's known for over a decade, he knew exactly what to do and immediately felt grounded. That's the resolution right there. But people are taking the first half of that and ignoring the second. And one of the major highlights of this documentary is how each segment connects with the last. So right after Jin voices this and shares this with us, what does the documentary show us next? The guys going to the beach, spending time together, having fun, a relaxed, chill time. The same moment that they go live on Weavers when they're at the beach. That's not random. That's visual storytelling. That's the film telling us he's okay. They're okay. And let's not forget, Jin wasn't just sitting there doing nothing, not being included. He was literally on tour. He arrives from his tour. He extended that tour. He actually leaves early too because he has to end his final shows in Korea. And who is he doing all this for? For the fans, for ARMY. So yeah, he joined later, but that's not exclusion. That's timing and commitment. People saw a moment of uncertainty and ignored the immediate resolution. This next one is one that I've seen here and there about Jin and Taehyung not getting along. This one is a stretch, like many. People are pulling moments from a live stream comment.
같이 근데 조금 하고 아쉽긴 해. 할 수 있는 시간이 있었는데 형이 컨디션이 좀 안 좋았어.
투어를 계속 돌았어.
네.
그래서 아쉬웠지.
아 근데 덕분에 또
저희가
힘을 지켜주셨으니까
맞습니다.
그 앨범이 나온
네.
거예요.
야, 다음 곡 들어볼까요?
A Spotify performance where you literally can't hear anything that's being said. Somehow that's a conflict between them. Let's be serious for a second. If you can't hear a conversation, you're not analyzing anything, you're projecting. Now compare that to what we actually see in the documentary. Early on in the documentary, there's a moment where Jin expresses this uncertainty that he has been feeling. And who is he telling this to? Taehyung. And what does Taehyung do? He doesn't dismiss him. He doesn't challenge him. He encourages him. And even more important, he meets him in the same space and says, I don't know what I'm doing here either. That's not tension. That's mutual vulnerability.
내가 어디에 있는지도 모르겠어.
아니야 형 그러지 마요. 정신 차려요 형. 정신 차려 알겠죠?
뭔가 끓는 소리는 찡뭐 이런 소리라든지.
뭐가 그렇게 힘들어요?
내가 왜 여기 있는지 모르겠어.
형 우리 다 똑같이 생각.
나 진짜 소주
Zoom out.
알았어요.
먹는 게 아닙니다.
That's two people being honest out loud. Remember, this is an observational documentary. It's like we're a fly on the wall. We're listening to these conversations. This isn't planned. This isn't manufactured. It's just real with real human beings. And some of these people are so used to seeing curated moments that when something is natural, they read it as negative. They call it tension because it doesn't look scripted. Up next, English versus Korean language discussion. This one has blown way out of proportion. There's a moment where the language of the album comes up, this balance between English and Korean. And people are acting like this was some huge argument, conflict, fight between the members and the vice president of Big Hit Music, Nicole Kim. And let me tell you, it wasn't.
전반적으로 영어 가사가 너무 많아서 좀 한국어로 좀 가사를 좀 했으면 좋겠다. 랩은 특히나 더
당연히 진정성도 중요한데 어쨌든 앨범이 좀 글로벌 하려면 해보긴 해야 될 것 같거든요.
It was literally one opinion shared by the VP, which is BTS is a global group now, and it's okay to move in that direction. That's it. There's no fight, no escalation, no fallout, because this is what it actually is. A normal business conversation about reach, about audience, about positioning. You know, the kind of conversations that artists at this level have. The guys are having these conversations all the time. They're not children. These are grown people serious about their career. Of course, they're going to have meetings with VPs, executives, producers. They're going to have disagreements. They're going to have agreements. A lot of the time they don't go one way and they go the other way. A lot of the time they do agree. BTS are not kids. And I feel like a lot of people online believe they still are and are being taken advantage of. They're not being listened to. Why do you feel like these aren't grown men who know what they're doing? I strongly believe that says more about you than it does them. Which leads me into a bigger conversation, which is creative control. The documentary focuses a lot on two songs on the album. The first one being Swim. Not so much on the direction of the sound. That conversation is more about like, should this be the main title track?
오늘 이제 타이틀곡으로 생각하고 있는 스윕의 녹음본을
Swim.
오늘 좀 들어볼게요.
이게 그가 좀 처진다. 확실히.
노래를 싫어하지 않고 너무 좋아하는데 좀 무섭긴 해요. 그죠? 엄청.
우리 다이너마이트 때도 이랬나?
힘 빼서 전 다른 노래 좋긴 한데.
성숙하고 멋있는 노래고 확실히 변화하는 노래네.
그건 맞아요.
뭔가 좀 어른의 느낌을 풍겨야 될 것 같아.
Which BTS talk about it amongst themselves and decide that it's okay. Let's go with this direction. We might be unsure of it, but let's go. This is the moment to do something different, not what's expected. The other song that it focuses on a lot is Body to Body. And why is that? Because Body to Body includes the sample of ARIRANG, the original traditional song. What people are saying about this conversation is that they were pushed to include it. The company is in control of what they do and their sound. But if you actually watch the documentary, what you see is a discussion. You see ideas being exchanged. You see disagreement, yes. But it's not about whether to include something, but how much of it is to be included. That's called creative refinement.
랩이랑 노래 스타일이 약간
Hobie was living. I was too. And then we got Namjoon, Yoongi too, sitting down. They were like, Hobie was, oh, okay. And the most important part that people keep ignoring is that it is said multiple times by Bang PD to the members. They have the last say. Let me repeat that clearly. They have the last say. They is BTS. BTS have the final say as to what happens with their album, what they do, and what direction they go in.
나는 양쪽 다 이해가 잘 돼. 나도 솔직히 바이트 바디를 두세 번 넌 들어야 돼. 그럼 뭘 들을래? 하면 난 아직도 전 버전을 들을 것 같아.
아까도 얘기했지만 결론은 여러분이 내릴 수밖에 없어요.
And I just said, we see the guys making these decisions. These are not rookies. These are not artists that are being told what to do. These are people over a decade into their careers who have built their brand, who understand their audience, and who are actively shaping their work. What we see here is not control. It's collaboration. It's discussions between artists and executives who are all trying to make something meaningful. And listen, I am not a company stan, but let's be honest here. If it wasn't for those discussions, if it wasn't for those sharing of opinions, we wouldn't have the album that Arirang is. We wouldn't have that today. Because at the end of the day, BTS decided this album is what they wanted to put out. The album they're so proud of.
이왕 그렇게 온 이상 애매하게 이제 굴지 않고 멀리 가는 게 맞다라는 생각을 했었어요. 그게 또 저희만 연출할 수 있는 장면일 수도 있지 않을까.
And I think this is where the real issue is. People say they want authenticity. They say they want to see the real side of artists. But when they actually get it, when they see uncertainty, disagreements, quiet moments, honest conversations, they don't know how to process it. So they turn it into drama. They fill in these imaginary gaps that aren't even there. They create narratives they're more comfortable with than the actual truth, when the truth is actually very simple. Nothing in this documentary shows a group falling apart. Nothing shows resentment. Nothing shows disconnection. If anything, it shows growth. It shows 7 grown people who have known each other for over a decade, navigating a new phase of their lives and careers. It shows maturity. It shows honesty. And by the end of the documentary, they're not tense. They're not divided. They're content. So maybe the problem isn't what BTS is showing you. Maybe the problem is you, if you're taking part of that conversation, made up situation, because you're finally seeing them as they actually are. And that may be unfamiliar to you. But let me tell you, unfamiliar doesn't mean bad. It just means real. Thank you so much, guys, for watching my video. Let me know what you thought of the documentary if you watched it. If you haven't, please go with open minds and open hearts. It's truly a good, really good documentary. I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Adios.